engine, the best engine ever flown in a Sabre. You are in for a treat. Cameras ready for Hawk 1 F-86 Sabre. 3 years ago in 2009, Canada celebrated its 100th anniversary of powered flight, and in honor of that memorable achievement, Vintage Wings in Canada purchased and restored this original Canadian-built F-86 Sabre jet fighter, which served 16 years in the Royal Canadian Air Force in Europe and Canada. Coming in from the right, Hawk 1 will perform a 4-point roll into the rhubarb roll. Dan Dempsey at the controls, former Snowbird lead pilot. Here's shot, over stop, inverted stop, knife edge stop, flat and level. Beautifully done. Into the rhubarb reversal, you're going to note the Sabre is painted in the beautiful colors of the legendary Royal Canadian Air Force Golden Hawks aerobatic team. The Golden Hawks were formed in 1959 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of powered flight in Canada. They thrilled Canadians from coast to coast for 5 air show seasons, performing 317 public air shows by the end of 1963. This afternoon's demonstration is being flown by Deputy Team Leader Dan Dempsey from Victoria, BC. Dan served 23 years in the Canadian Forces, including a tour as a fighter pilot on the Starfighter with our NATO forces in Germany and 2 tours with the Snowbirds. He flew as Snowbird 9 during his first tour and later returned to command the team as Snowbird 1, leading the team through their 20th anniversary season and 1,000th public demonstration. Dan is currently employed as a pilot by Top Aces Incorporated, a subsidiary of the title sponsor, Discovery Air, which provides dedicated combat support training to Canada's Army, the Royal Canadian Navy, and the Royal Canadian Air Force. He's also the author of A Tradition of Excellence, Canada's Airshow Team Heritage, the most comprehensive book ever written on Canada's Airshow team legacy and the Canadians who created it. In the early 1950s, Canadair Limited of Montreal manufactured over 1,800 Sabres, of which almost 1,200 were delivered to the RCAF to serve in Canada and Europe. At its peak, Canada operated 12 Sabre squadrons in Europe across Italy, Britain, France, and Germany, in addition to 6 auxiliary squadrons in Canada. The title sponsor of Hawk 1 Sabre this year, once again, Discovery Air. Dan setting up now for the slow, dirty pass. He'll select speed brakes, slow down, drop the landing gear and flaps, and if you look carefully, you'll see the canopy is open. Dan's going to give a big wave to everyone because waving to you through the open canopy is something he loves to do. Yes, in a jet. So watch this, folks. He'll give you a wave on the way by. Rolling back the canopy. Cameras ready, and wave back, Dan Dempsey. This Quebec Sabre aircraft served with 441 Squadron, the RCAF's #1 fighter wing in France, and later at RCAF Station Trenton, Ontario, where it was one of the Golden Hawks training aircraft for the 1963 season. Later used in the Sabre Transition Unit, preparing Canadian fighter pilots for duty in Europe, it was finally retired from service at Canadian Forces Base Chatham. That's in New Brunswick. This Sabre was subsequently flown privately in the United States for 35 years before finally returning home to Canada in September of 2007. Get ready now as Dan returns for the graceful Hawk 1 slow roll and barrel roll. by Vintage Wings of Canada, a not-for-profit charitable organization based in Gatineau, Quebec. It's supported by volunteers and funded completely by corporate and private sponsorship. The Vintage Wings motto is commemorate, educate, inspire, and is dedicated to keeping Canada's aviation heritage alive through the restoration, preservation, and flight display of classic Canadian aircraft. This Sabre is the first jet-powered aircraft in the Vintage Wings collection of aviation masterpieces. Attendance today is one of the team's aircraft maintenance engineers from Vintage Wings, Angela Gagnon. Spent many hours servicing Hawk 1 to ensure it is in top condition for today's show. Watch now as Hawk 1 returns for a series of rapid rolls to demonstrate the outstanding maneuverability of this classic fighter. Pulling up down the half-Q in reversal, and once over the top, he's going to accelerate the Sabre to nearly 750 kilometers per hour. Pull up into a vertical roll. The upcoming vertical roll, the team would like to salute all those members of the RCAF who flew and maintained the F-86 when Canadian Sabres ruled the skies in the defense of Europe. And they'd also like to especially salute 107 RCAF Sabre pilots who gave their lives in the service of their country during this time. Their spirit lives on, and the team is proud to represent this legacy. The jet noise drifts away in memory of those who gave their lives and who have served. I want to point out that we have a veterans tent here today, and many of the vets have joined us. And folks, so that they can hear and know that we'll never forget their sacrifices, let's have a round of applause, please, for all the veterans in attendance. We will remember. Speaking of one of our veterans, unfortunately, this gentleman's dad is here with him. And you're a veteran as well, sir. But your dad is alone and kind of wandered off. So if you see him, he's about 88 years of age, and he's alone. What's he wearing today, sir?
His name is Gordon McKenzie. He's a retired flight lieutenant with the RCAF. He's about 5'4", 249. Silver hair, no hat, and last time I heard he was with the company of a young woman in his heart.
Oh, he's found himself a young lady. So Gordon is his name. He'll answer to that if you see an older gentleman, or Gordy, and if you could take him, please, it would be appreciated, to the Police Command Center, which is almost directly behind us. Show Center, their large white van and tent is there, or here if it's closer. Okay? Gordy. And we're looking for him. Not a problem at all, sir. Good luck with that. As Hawk 1 in its Banana Pass just flew by, and again, the Golden Hawks, acknowledging leader Fernduda, whose name Hawk 1 is dedicated this year, and who we spoke to before Dan flew this afternoon. The original leader of the Golden Hawks in 1959, 1960, a tremendous supporter of their program to this day, remains an avid private pilot still pursuing his dream of flying.